Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego, and it's time for your K1 Visa Green Card live stream. It's almost 6 p.m. Central Time, May 31st, 2025. And I have got the Mega Pixie Dust ready to go. I've got the Mountain Dew Salutes ready to go. Karina's with her friends. Beautiful Karina, my wife from Venezuela. She is with her friends tonight. Friends from Puerto Rico, friends from Peru, friends from the United States. So she's out and about, and so I'm doing this by myself today. And she sends everybody her best wishes. That light is killing me right there. Is that better? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the green card live stream, the K1 Visa live stream. And I was trying to get this thing going. I had installed another camera, and the other camera kept kicking in, overriding this camera. So I had to go in and delete the other camera so this camera could work. Oh, it was crazy. But I got it figured out, and now I'm back online live streaming. It took me 3 tries. I had to go in and disable this other camera over here so that I could get on this camera over here so that you guys can see me. And then you can ask me all the questions about K1 visas, green cards, etc. Right? That's the reason you're here, is to get your K1 visa and your green card. Now, remember, if you get an RFE because you messed up the paperwork, when you resubmit the paperwork with the corrections, if you mess it up the second time, don't be surprised if immigration sends you a letter of denial. Okay? No, we already gave you one chance, and if you can't figure out this paperwork, then and you've messed it up a second time, then we're gonna go ahead and deny your green card. So don't get in that position. I'm just gonna make sure I get this light corrected. There you go. You don't want to get in that position, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, where you get an RFE, which is a request for further evidence, right? You submit the green card application. You think you did a good job. You think you did everything right, but you didn't. And then immigration contacts you with a letter and says, look, you messed up. You didn't fill this out right. You didn't do this. You didn't include this. Where's this? Where's that? You didn't translate the birth certificate into English. You didn't sign the paperwork. You filled out the I-864 incorrectly. You put your family size down incorrectly. Immigration is going to go over your green card application with a fine-tooth comb, okay? And just imagine that the immigration is the Borg from Star Trek, okay? They're going to assimilate you or they're not going to assimilate you. It all depends on how you do the paperwork. They don't have a heart. They don't function from emotion. They don't approve or disapprove green cards from emotion. They approve or disapprove green cards from what you send them. And if you send them a crappy application, okay, don't be surprised if you're lucky enough to get an RFE. They may just deny it altogether. So it's very important when you fill out your paperwork for your 2-year green card, or if you're going to lift the conditions off your 2-year green card, you don't make a mistake on the paperwork. Don't do it. Don't just take an extra day and go over the paperwork. Take an extra day and look at it and say, okay, make sure you didn't transpose any numbers. Don't make sure you didn't spell your beneficiary's name incorrectly. You got some people from Thailand or from the Philippines or from wherever in the world, and their names are like this long, or from South America where they got 4 names. You got to be careful when you fill out this paperwork. You can't be in a big freaking rush. Marvell Campbell, hey Diego, and the rest of the family. Marvell, how are you? We hope you're doing well. We hope you're having a great Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us. Now, Marvell is a member of this channel, so Marvell has my phone number, my email address, and Marvell can text me, call me, email me anytime, whenever there's an immigration question. Anytime during the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't have to wait for a live stream. Bud Garcia, hello, Mr. Diego. How are you doing, Mr. Bud Garcia? We are doing great. Karina worked all week, so it's Saturday night. She's decided her friends, who she works with, invited her out to a dinner someplace, and so she's out with her friends, and she'll be back later. So, Bud Garcia, what's going on, Bud? Marvell, All is well, Diego. Happy Saturday. Well, we're going to give Marvell the first Mountain Dew salute for the happy Saturday. Because every Saturday is a happy Saturday, right? Well, every day is a good day, especially when you wake up on this side of the grass, right? I got some more work done in the yard today. I got some gate hinges installed, and I tell you, the yard is a never-ending project, but that's all good. I got done with the yard work. I came in, and now it's time to get on with the questions for K1 visas and green cards. Bud Garcia, it's been a long time since I've been on the live stream. Everything is going good. Just had to take time to get other documents, paperwork ready. What do you mean paperwork ready? For what? What are you getting paperwork ready for? Hopefully, what's going on? Where are you at in the status? Larry Piercy says good. Now, Larry's a member of the channel. Now, Bud Garcia, you need to sign up as a member of the channel too. Then you can text me and call me like Larry Piercy texts me and calls me. I was at Home Depot loading up the cart for my yard work, and Larry calls me, and I called him actually, and we got some stuff answered on Morgie's scary green card interview in Montgomery, Alabama. Bud Garcia, I have a question for my green card. I thought you were a U.S. citizen, Bud. I didn't know you needed a green card, but you can ask me a question for your green card. If I remember, weren't you a Marine who's a U.S. citizen, and you have a question for your green card or for your wife's green card? But we got the Manga Pixie Dust ready to go, and I got the Mountain Dew salutes ready to go, and I'll give Bud Garcia a Mountain Dew salute because he's been missing in action on the live stream for quite a while. I thought he got abducted by aliens is what I think is what happened. I even asked my buddy J-Rod if he knew where Bud was, and even J-Rod had no clue where Bud was. So I don't know what happened to him, but we're glad to see you back. Okay. And if you're looking for Karina, she's out with her friends tonight. She went Mother's Day. It's like a late Mother's Day dinner with her friends from work. And her friends from work speak Spanish and English and Indonesian. And one of her friends is from Puerto Rico. So Karina can hang out with her friends, and she's not going to be lost in just total English, because some of her friends speak Spanish also. But she's starting her English classes next month, which is like June, which is tomorrow. She got signed up for English classes, so I will drive her over to the college over here, and she can go to English classes in the evening, which is good, right? If you don't speak English, you got to learn English, because when you go for your U.S. citizenship, the U.S. citizenship interview is in English. There's no translator. You better know freaking English. Now, I don't know about tomorrow, maybe tomorrow or the next day, I'll make a video on the questions you can get for your 2-year green card interview. Okay, I'm going to make it an in-depth video on how to handle it, how to dress, how to behave, and what to expect at a 2-year green card interview. Okay, I'll make that video tomorrow. Larry Piercy, when what? When am I going to make the video on the green card interview? I'm going to make the video tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is today. What day is it today? I don't even know. I'm retired 3 times. I lose track of what day it is. I just know the time. You said tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will make a video on how to prepare and what to expect at a 2-year green card interview. Bud Garcia, I turned in the green card on the 12th of this month, the 12th of May, and I already got the biometrics for my wife. Is it fast or is that normal? That's normal. It takes about 2 weeks to get a biometrics letter. So you make sure you bring the appointment letter. When you got that letter from immigration that says you got to go to biometrics with your wife, take your wife to the biometrics. Isn't she from Thailand? If I remember, isn't she from Thailand? But you must bring the letter with you. Your wife must bring her passport, the marriage certificate where it shows you got married. Right. I remember. It's been what? I don't know. I haven't talked to you for 6 months, 8 months. Here's the deal, bud. When you go to the biometrics, you got to bring your identification, your passport. Your wife's got to bring her passport, her Thai passport, and the marriage certificate, and the letter that you received from immigration. If you don't bring the appointment letter for the biometrics, they won't let you in the government building. Remember, it's a secure government building. You're going to go through a TSA checkpoint just like you're getting on an airplane when you go for biometrics. Just pretend you're getting on an airplane. Prepare to take your shoes off, take your belt off, go through a screening, show your IDs, and then you will be admitted into the building for the biometrics. But don't forget those documents, okay? Now, okay, so I can go in with her. Yeah, you can. You can go in with her, but you got to bring an ID with you to show who you are. Bring your driver's license, so you can show, and that way you can accompany her. She's not by herself, you know. I also recommend people accompany their beneficiaries from the country they're in. Once you go through the K-1 visa interview at the embassy or the consulate overseas, the American citizen sponsor, there should be no excuse why you are not going to that country and bringing your beneficiary back to the United States so you can enter as a couple. Okay? We're under strict immigration rules right now. Okay? Very strict immigration rules, which basically are being enforced. Immigration rules are being enforced when they should have been enforced 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Okay? For the last 30, 40, 20, 30, 40 years, immigration rules have not been fully enforced, especially on illegal immigrants. So if you are in this country illegally, okay, my advice to you is to take yourself home and self-deport. So that way you can come back in the future if you self-deport. If you're in this country illegally and you're watching this channel, my advice to you is go home, back to your country of origin, okay? And if you want to come back to the United States in the future, you'll be able to do so. You can file for a tourist visa, or maybe if you have, if you're married to an American citizen, you can do the process correctly, all right? But if you sneak in this country illegally, without due process, and Homeland Security is going to find you, and they're going to arrest you, and they're going to put you on a freaking plane and send you home. If you get arrested by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, if you are an illegal immigrant, you get arrested by ICE, okay, you're done. You're not coming back to this country. You're done. But if you are an illegal immigrant right now, okay, Immigration and Customs Enforcement is saying, look, if you self-deport, we'll give you some money, go back home to your home country, and then apply the correct way to come here, and there won't be a red flag against you. But if you wait for Homeland Security to come find you, and they arrest you, and they throw you in the back of the paddy wagon and take you to a detention center, then stick your ass on an airplane and fly you back to where you came from, you're not coming back to the United States. It's just, immigration needs to be focusing their time on people who are coming here legally, like you guys. You're coming to America legally, right? You went through the K-1 visa process. You're going through the green card application. You paid the visa fees. You paid the consular fees for the K-1 visa. You had a medical exam to show you're not carrying any contagious diseases. You had police checks done to show that you don't have any criminal record that's going to bar you from the country. You're doing all this the correct way, okay? And now USCIS can focus, even though USCIS now is working more in hand with Homeland Security, okay? They're not going to try to stop you from coming to America. They want you to come here. They want to reunite you with your husband, wife, fiance, but you got to do it the right way. Larry Piercy. Now, Larry Piercy is a member of this channel. The beneficiary's name changes to petitioner for 485, and I'm the sponsor, correct? Larry Piercy. I'll give you a Mountain Dew salute, and I'm going to explain it to you about the last name for Moggy. When Moggy filed for her green card on USCIS form I-485, page 1, Moggy would have put her first name, and if she's taking your last name, Larry, it would be Moggy, middle name Piercy, And then the second question on page 1 of USCIS Form I-485 is, what other names have you used? And then Moggy will put in her first name, middle name, and maiden name that she had when she was not married to you. So that right, Matt P. Wong, right. Larry, pay attention to class, okay? When you filled out page 1 of the 485, or when Moggy, you helped to fill it out, page 1, question, let's say is question 1 is, what is your legal name? Well, it's going to be Moggy Piercy. And then the next question is, what other names have you used, Moggy Piercy? Well, I've used Moggy and my maiden name. Karina Ross, my wife from Venezuela, my beautiful wife from Venezuela. On page 1 of USCIS Form I-485, we put Karina, middle name, Ross. They ask her, what's your name? What's your legal name, Karina? Well, my legal name is Karina, middle name, Ross. The second question on the USCIS Form I-485 is, what other names have you used in the past? And then Karina put in there Karina, middle name, maiden name, what her name was before she married me. Okay? So that's how you change the last name, Miss Sponsor. If you are a female marrying your American citizen sponsor, and you want to take your husband's last name, you change your maiden name to your U.S. citizen sponsor's last name on page 1 of USCIS Form I-485. You got it? And then when you fill out the paperwork for the 864 and the 485, and when you go to the doctor and get the new 693, you get a brand new medical exam done, okay, for the green card, for the two-year green card. The 693 is going to be filled out with your new last name, your husband's last name. Karina went to her medical exam for her 2-year green card in Pensacola, Florida, and the paperwork that the doctor filled out was Karina, middle name Ross. Everything's Karina Ross, Ross. Okay? When Karina's green card came in the mail, she opened up the mail. I took a video of it. No, you don't need another 693, Larry. You're good. They didn't ask it when you received the letter for the green card interview, Larry. Did they ask you that you need to bring a 693? But you already submitted it, right? When you filed for the 2-year green card. When you filed for the 2-year green card with Moggy, you included a brand new medical exam done by the doctor in Pensacola that I recommended to you, correct? If you did that, you don't have to do any more medical exams. You have the 693 leftover info. Okay. Well, then bring that with you to the green card interview in Montgomery, Alabama. Just bring it with you in case they ask for it. You never know, right? Just bring it with you. Do I think they're going to ask for it? No, I don't think they're going to ask for it again, but bring it with you. Now, remember, you have a medical exam for the K-1 visa interview in the country where you live. Like Karina had her medical exam in Bogota, Colombia. Then she had another medical exam in Pensacola, Florida for her 2-year green card. When she files for her 10-year green card in March of 2026, it's now May 31st, 2025. When she applies for her 10-year green card next year, she doesn't have to have another medical exam. She doesn't have to include the I-94. She doesn't have to include a copy of the K-1 visa. It's all that paperwork becomes irrelevant when you file for the 10-year green card. Okay? Because immigration's already seen that stuff and they've already scanned it and they have it on file. Larry Piercy, I'm running DNA samples tonight to make sure we are not related. There you go. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, Larry. You know that already, right? DNA and RNA is ribonucleic acid. Hey, I was a physics guy and a chemistry guy. Stuff you don't forget, right? Let's see. Bud Garcia, since my wife's biometric is in Seattle, where would my interview be at? Well, first you're going to go to the biometrics. Let's get to that over with first, okay? Let's get the biometrics done first. Then wait for the letter telling you where your green card interview is going to be. But more than likely, it's going to be in Seattle, Washington, okay? Because that appears to be where the closest USCIS office is located, okay? More than likely, it's going to be in Seattle. So don't worry, though. Don't worry about it. The biometrics is easy. It takes 5 minutes. You go now. What is biometrics? They take a picture of your face, your beneficiary's face, your new wife's face. They took her fingerprints, and then they have her sign her full name. So they've got her name on file, they got her photo on file, biometrics, and they've got her fingerprints on file. Now, what does that mean? So if you decide to travel, let's say, Bud, you decide to fly back to Thailand with your wife for a vacation, which I don't recommend you do. Don't leave the country once you get your 2-year green card. Wait till you at least your 10-year green card before you travel. But let's suppose you decide to travel on your 2-year green card, your wife, you go back to Thailand. When she goes through the U.S. citizen checkpoint with you, they're going to know who she is already from the biometrics on file. Her biometric picture is going to be on file at every port of entry in America. Just like Karina, my wife from Venezuela, my beautiful wife from Venezuela. When they did biometrics on her, her picture is now in every port of entry in the United States of America. So if Karina was to leave America and go to, let's say, to Colombia for a 2-week vacation and come back, immigration's going to know where she went, how long she was gone, okay? As soon as she shows up at the airport and she goes through the checkpoint, they're going to know where she's going or that she's there, okay? But my recommendation is this. Once you get your 2-year green card, don't travel anywhere. Don't leave the country. Just focus on becoming an American. Becoming a permanent resident of the United States. That's the reason for the green card. Okay? The green card wasn't created for you to use it as a visa to be a tourist traveling back and forth to the country where you originated from. Okay. When Karina and I will go to Colombia and visit her family when she's a U.S. citizen. Yeah, maybe another 3 years from now. Okay? Another 3 years or 4 years, maybe 3 or 4 years. We'll go down to Colombia for 2 weeks and spend 2 weeks in Colombia on vacation. Karina will have a U.S. passport. I got my U.S. passport. And there's not going to be any hassle. Except for me, probably, because for some reason, there's one lady who works for immigration in Colombia, El Dorado. She didn't like me for some reason. I don't know. She had an issue with me. Maybe she didn't like Americans. I don't know. But she always told me, oh, I think your passport's false. I said, okay. So let's go to secondary screening. So we go to secondary screening. And then her boss looks at my passport and looks at her like she's stupid and says, you're good, Diego. Why are you here? I said, ask this idiot right here. But you got to be respectful to immigration, right? Even Colombian immigration. So we'll go to Colombia for vacation when Karina's an American citizen. That's it. We're not going anywhere. Now, I'm going to take Karina on vacation next year to New Mexico. I want to take her to some UFO crash sites in New Mexico, and I'm going to take her to New York City because she's never been to New York City. She's everybody. When you're a foreign national, right? What do you think about America? You think about skyscrapers, right? Or you think about the beaches of Miami, or movie stars in Hollywood, right? That's what you think of when you're thinking about America. So I'm going to take Karina, take her up the Empire State Building. Now, I used to live in Staten Island. My favorite restaurant in New York City is Patsy's Italian Restaurant. Now, they don't pay me to say that, but I'm going to take her there to eat some pasta, some ravioli. Larry Piercy, Bud, you friendly umbrella, Charlie Kilo, Echo Romeo. Barker, hello, Diego. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. Got my interview for green card May 20th, 2024. The immigration officer didn't ask as much, just when you met, what kind of doctor are you? Because I just became a doctor. Woo, Barker. A salute to you becoming a doctor. That's a lot of schooling. You went through, 10 years of school just to get to become a doctor, 10, 12 years, right? It's a lot of schooling. Good job, Barker. Larry Piercy, why do we get more folks on here when Karina is with you? Well, Karina's better looking than I am, right? But Karina, she asked me, she goes, hey, my friends want me to go eat a late Mother's Day dinner with them. And I said, well, go and have fun. I don't know where she's going to eat. I guess she'll tell me when she gets back. Her friends are going to bring her back. Barker, she took our rental lease, car insurance, and said, you have your conditional 2-year green card. Thanks for your help. And you helped me all along. Well, that's why we're here. Barker, I'm here to help you. Karina's here to help you, okay? We're going to help you. We're going to pull you over the finish line to get your green cards and your K1 visas approved. But what have you got to do on your end to get it? You got to qualify. If you don't qualify for the green card or for the K1 visa, don't apply for it. Don't set yourself up for failure, okay? So what have you got to do to qualify for the K1 visa? Well, the American citizen's got to make enough money, right? For the location where he or she lives and the family size that he's going to bring to America. He's got to make enough money, okay? You got to be dating each other, I would say, for at least a year, and made at least 2 trips to see each other before you file for the K1, right? Even though immigration says you only got to meet each other 1 time, you want to meet each other at least twice and have been dating for at least a year with 1 year's worth of evidence of being in a relationship together. Then you have an engagement ceremony in street clothes, not in cultural clothes. Then you get pictures of your engagement party in street clothes, not cultural clothes. I mean, some people live in this beautiful Africa. Some countries in Africa they want to have, or in Indonesia, or in Morocco, they want to have an engagement party in cultural clothes. And then the American citizen sponsor puts all these pictures together for the K1 visa, and the immigration officer thinks you guys got married and denies your K1 visa. So when you have an engagement party, Corinne and I had an engagement party on December 24th, 2021, okay, in Bogota, Colombia, in regular clothes with all of her family and her brothers and her nephews and nieces. We got them all in the pictures. Okay, just make sure you qualify for the K1 before you apply for it. Income, being in a strong real relationship, lots of evidence of being together, meeting each other, etc., etc. Well, I'm glad we helped you, Barker. We're happy for you. Bud Garcia, umbrella. I thought it was uniform. U is uniform in the military phonetics. Bud, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, right? John Labatt, John's a member of the channel. Hello, everyone. On the I-134, there is a question asking to insert an alien number, which we have with the NOA2 letter. Do we write that in that space? Yes, John Labatt. When you get a question on the I-134, they're going to ask you for your alien registration number, your beneficiaries. Mountain Dew salute, John, for being a member of this channel, and Larry Piercy also. And also all the members who signed up. We appreciate that. Marvell included. On the NOA2 letter is your beneficiary's alien registration number. That's just going to have. That number goes on the I-134, which is the Declaration of Financial Support, which the sponsor fills out, okay, as part of the K1 visa application. Okay? If you're filling out the I-134 for your beneficiary, and you come to the question, the alien registration number, you get it on the NOA2 letter. It's either above or below your beneficiary's name on the right-hand side of the paperwork. So, John, I just helped you there. Hopefully you heard what I said. Larry Piercy, I did not think of that. LOL. Larry Piercy, where was your interview, Barker? Larry Piercy, threw you off, bud. Harold A. I'm scared for the interview, Diego, like nervous. Why? There's nothing to be scared of. You made it through the K1 visa interview. Now you're going to go through a green card interview. It's no big deal. You're in a real relationship. You love each other. You qualify for the benefit. You know each other inside and out, right? You know everything about each other. Karina, I know what Karina's favorite food is, who her best friend is, where she grew up, where she was raised, what's her mom's name, what's her dad's name. I know the names of all her brothers and sisters. Hola, Alba, ¿cómo estás? Indira, her friends and family in Venezuela. Her mom, Carmen, who's in Colombia right now. You got Jose Manuel, hey, Jerry, Maria, Jose Manuel's wife. I mean, you got to know everything about your sponsor and your beneficiary. What do they like? What don't they like? What, Karina knows what my favorite colors are. Karina knows what my favorite food is. She knows what I don't watch movies on TV. Okay. I don't watch, to me, it's a waste of time helping Hollywood generate money so they can fund their woke freaking initiatives out in California. I don't watch movies. Okay. But I watch YouTube. I learn from YouTube. I learn how to do different things on YouTube. I bought this new teleprompter so I can make this second channel, the J-Rod Files. I got a teleprompter here, and I learned how to use it. Now, the camera that goes with it sucks, so I'm going to have my brother help me overcome that technical difficulty. But if you're not learning something new every day, then you're not advancing yourself. You can spend 2 hours watching a stupid Hollywood movie, or you can watch 2 hours learning how to improve your chess game, or how to put a YouTube channel together, or, something useful, right? Don't be scared, Harold A. And Barker said his green card interview was in Atlanta, Georgia. And Larry says, thanking Barker. Harold A., after the green card interview, do they tell you right away if you pass the interview? Yes, they'll tell you. Look, Harold A., here's Mega Pixie Dust. This is the K1 Visa Green Card Interview Super Lucky 2025 Mega Pixie Dust. Okay? We're going to get you through it. Don't worry about it. It's not, I mean, you made it this far. Now you're just going through formalities. Barker, yes, she did. She got approval notice the next day. That's quick. Now, Karina, listen to this, right? When you apply for a 2-year green card, you get the green. Once you get approved and everything, you'll get it in a couple of weeks from Corbin, Kentucky. They'll mail it to you. Okay, once you've gone through the interview and everything, it's no big deal. When you lift the conditions off of the 2-year green card and you apply for the 10-year green card, you got to repeat everything you did for the 2-year green card plus 2 more years, right? So you get the 2-year green card. You remember everything you included in your 2-year green card application. You're going to repeat all that over again, plus 2 more years. Actually, 21 months worth of more evidence. When you lift the conditions off the 2-year green card, you're going to file USCIS form I-751, and as of May 31, 2025, it's $750. So we will file for Karina's 10-year green card next March, and then she will receive a notice that they received her paperwork. And they're saying it's taken about 4 years to get an approval on a 10-year green card now. So you got a 2-year green card, you apply for a 10-year green card, they're saying it's taking 3 to 4 years to get it done. That kind of sucks, right? But the thing is this, during that 4 years you're waiting for the 10-year green card, you get a letter saying that your 2-year green card has been automatically extended for 48 months. So you've got an expired 2-year green card, right? Because your 2-year green card's expired, but you've got a letter saying that your 2-year green card has been extended 48 months while you wait for your 10-year green card. But if you are smart, if you follow Diego's advice, once you qualify for U.S. citizenship, apply for U.S. citizenship. So you've been in the United States for what? 2 years. You apply for the 10-year green card. It's going to take 4 years to get adjudicated. But you only have to wait 1 year before you can apply for U.S. citizenship. So when you hit the 3-year mark, apply for U.S. citizenship. When you do, Immigration will see that you've applied to lift the conditions off your 2-year green card. They're going to see that you filed all that freaking paperwork. Okay? They're going to see that. So what they'll do is they will adjudicate your 10-year green card and U.S. citizenship at the same time. So you don't have to wait 4 years. You only have to wait 1 year. Right? You're listening to me, right, class? You paying attention, class? You get your 2-year green card. You lift the conditions off of it. It takes 4 years to get a 10-year green card. But you get a letter from immigration saying your 2-year green card has been extended for 48 months. So basically, you have a 4-year green card in your hand. But while you wait for your 10-year green card, if you haven't got it yet, if you don't get it within that 1 year, just become a freaking citizen. And then you don't even have to worry about waiting another 3 years to get adjudicated for your 10-year green card. You see what I'm saying? Let's see here. Yes, Harold A. They will tell you right away after the interview, okay? Larry Piercy, do they keep everything you bring to the conditional interview? Yes, except for original documents. So if you're going to bring Mogi's original birth certificate to the green card interview, they'll give it back to you, but they'll take a copy of it. Okay? You don't want to give immigration original documents. There's people filing for K-1 visas, sending in their original birth certificates, and then you might get a very nice immigration officer that gets the original birth certificate and sends it back to you. Hey, knucklehead, what are you doing? But you might get an immigration officer that doesn't have the time to be nice and friendly, and just they take it, they scan it, and they shred it. Bye. There goes your freaking birth certificate. Don't send original documents to K-1 visa applications. Don't send them in for 2-year green card applications. Send copies. Okay? Just copies. In regards to divorce decrees, they must be certified copies signed by a judge from the clerk of the court. So if you have a divorce decree, go to the clerk of the court where you live, or if you live far away, write them a letter and ask for a certified copy. Pay the $20 or however much it costs. Okay? My advice is this: when you apply for your K-1 visa and you have a divorce decree, get 5 certified copies of it. 5 certified copies of your divorce decree. Go to the courthouse and get 5 certified copies. 1 for the K-1 visa application. 1 for the embassy interview. The scary visa interview. 1 for the 2-year green card application. 1 for the 10-year green card application. 1 for the U.S. citizenship application. It's 5, right? Your divorcee gets 5 certified copies of your divorce decree. If let's supposing you married somebody, you're an American citizen, you married somebody from Chicago, and the lady passed away, and you have a death certificate. Get 5 certified copies of the death certificate. You got to prove you are legally free and able to marry. If you say you were married to somebody and that person died, you got to prove it. Let's suppose you're from the Philippines and you were married to somebody. It's next to impossible to get a divorce in the Philippines, probably 0. So what happens? You get an annulment, right? So if you were a Filipino and you married somebody, you got your marriage annulled, you're going to have to get a certified copy of the annulment certificate. All right? Let me see here. Larry Pierce exactly applied for citizenship at 2 years and 9 months. That's good. That's exactly right, Larry. So long as the beneficiary can speak, read, and write English and knows everything about the U.S. Constitution and our government. There's 100 questions out there that an immigration officer can ask a beneficiary about the United States. How many stars are on the Stars and Stripes? How many members of Congress are there? How many senators are there in the United States? Larry Piercy, well, you know it's 50 stars on the Stars and Stripes, and if we can get Canada, there'll be 51, right? We get Canada to sign up as a state, and we get 51. But some people are getting offended by that. Canadians, okay, we love our friends in Canada. We got people watching us in Canada. We love you guys, okay? But you got a government that sucks just as bad as Biden when he was in the White House. Your government's ran like a socialist, utopia. You all want the free healthcare, the free this, the free that, and your taxes are out of control. You got crazy taxes. President Trump said if Canada became the 51st state, he would eliminate all those BS taxes that you have to pay into that socialized government, and you become free people. Right? That's all he was saying. And some people took offense to that. The dividing line across Canada and the United States is what? It's just one straight line, right? Except up on the West Coast, where you separate Alaska from Canada. Can you imagine if Canada became the 51st state? The Canadians' standard of living would triple. The taxes would be cut in half. But hey, that's another story, right? Kunang Jr. Kunang, yes, just had my visa last week. Well, Mountain Dew salute to Kunang. You're not from Canada, are you? Let's see. John Labatt, also assets. Do we have to add this? If you want to. I qualify with my yearly salary. But then you don't have to worry about adding your assets. As long as you are if you are $5,000 or $6,000 above the 125%, at least I would say if you are $5,000 or $6,000 above the 125% minimum income for the green card, at the K1 visa interview, you don't have to put assets on the I-134. Valiant Thor salute. Green cards. That's what this channel's all about, is getting your green card and K1 visa and spousal visa behind the green door where the lights flicker, the coffee's terrible, and most reality here has been redacted. Have a blessed day. Now, I don't know what that's got to do with green cards and K1 visas, but you have a blessed day too, Valiant Thor. Now, Valiant Thor, okay, supposedly he's from the planet Venus. And he came to Earth to warn Americans. Yeah, no, he is an alien. Valiant Thor is an alien from Venus. But the hottest planet in the solar system is Venus. It's hotter than Mercury, believe it or not. So I don't know how Valiant Thor can live on Venus. The pressure on Venus is like being at the bottom of the Marianas Trench in the Pacific, or was in the Atlantic. Wherever it is. I can't remember. I should know that as a Navy guy. But life on Venus is impossible for people like us. So I don't know how Valiant Thor came from Venus, but apparently he met up with President Eisenhower back in the day and warned the president of impending doom for the planet Earth. But we hope Valiant Thor has a blessed day, and we hope everything goes well for Valiant Thor today. And alien, spell that with a V or a P. What? Valiant Thor is a V with a V, Larry. Come on. Now this is J-Rod. Okay. Now J-Rod is from the Zeta Reticuli star system, is about 30 light years from Earth. And I can believe that J-Rod came to the United States, actually Corona, New Mexico, 1947 in a UFO crash. I can believe that actually happened. But Valiant Thor, an alien coming from Venus, I'm having trouble with that. So, it's taken 4 years to lift the conditions off of a 2-year green card as of May 2025, okay? But don't panic. You get once you file the paperwork for your 10-year green card, you get a letter from immigration extending your 2-year green card for 48 months, and then a year after you've applied for your 10-year green card, you can apply for U.S. citizenship. And then then waiting for the 10-year green card becomes irrelevant because you get a naturalization certificate. But remember this: when you become naturalized, when you become a naturalized American, you will always have an alien registration number. So, Margie, Larry's wife, and whoever you are out there who come to America, we welcome you because you're doing it the right way. You're coming here the legal way. You're not trying to backdoor the process and avoid the visa fees, the medical exam, and the police vetting. You're coming here legally. You're going to get an alien registration number. When you become a U.S. citizen, you still have that alien registration number in your record. Okay? So let's suppose, like Karina, she becomes a U.S. citizen in 2027 or 2028. And then let's say Karina wants to bring her mom to the United States by filing Form I-130, the family visa, the family green card. When Karina fills out the I-130 for her mom, she will put on, they will ask her, are you an American citizen? Well, she's going to say yes. And they're going to ask her, how did you become a citizen? Or by naturalization. And then they're going to ask her, what's your alien registration number? And then she's going to write her alien registration number down. So what am I telling you? When you become a U.S. citizen, don't lose your alien registration number, because you might need it in the future for family members if you want to bring them to America. Valiant Thor, I don't know what you mean behind the green door. What are we talking about here? Random channel surfing, having lunch and saving the world. Well, we want you to save the world, Valiant Thor. But how do you like Earth? I mean, planet Earth is a lot more nicer than Venus, right? Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. Sorry I'm late. Francois, you're never late. Number one, this is your YouTube channel, guys. Now, Francois is a member of this channel. She keeps renewing her membership every month, and we appreciate that. Okay? It's the only way I can give people my phone number and email address. So if you want to become a member, sign up, and then you get my contact information. Then I can guide you through this process personally, without you having to wait for a live stream, and hoping that I got an internet connection. Although I've got 5G now, I've got a brand new computer, I've got everything brand new, so I'm not having any problems. Although I uploaded this new camera for this teleprompter, and that was jacking around with my camera over here. I said, so every time I tried to get a live stream started tonight, I had to go in and delete this camera from my hard drive, because it wouldn't. This camera apparently is stronger than this one, so I booted it off. So I'm back to this camera here. Hopefully you can hear me good and everything's fine. So Francois, welcome. We're glad you're here. Valiant Thor, you're at work, channel surfing. Well, you are bored. If you're hanging out, you must like this channel because I'm into aliens and stuff like that, right? Valiant Thor, I know you're not really Valiant Thor. You're not from Venus. You're from the United States, perhaps, or maybe from another country. But I am into aliens and extraterrestrials and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of bumped into this channel because of that. That's what I'm thinking. Now, don't panic when you get a letter for an RFE, request for further evidence. If you get an RFE, you submit your green card package and you get an RFE, you must respond to the RFE exactly how immigration wants you to respond. You must submit to them exactly what they ask for. If you fill out the 864 incorrectly because you can't figure out the family size, or you make a stupid mistake on the 864, it happens every single day. Every day, immigration sends out RFEs because folks, American citizens, can't add up and subtract, and they have, but it's not entirely the sponsor's fault because the form is a little complicated. So I decomplicate it for you guys, okay? But if you get an 864 and you mess it up, and the immigration sends a letter to you saying you messed up the 864, you got to resubmit it correctly with the correct addition date, the correct family size. Don't forget to sign the form, American citizen sponsor. If you submit it back to immigration correctly, you get your green card. If you respond to the RFE and submit an expired 864, you mess up the family size, you fill out the paperwork incorrectly, you forget to include your tax return, your tax transcript, the W-2s, 1099s, the pay stubs, the bank statements. Immigration has a hard time proving your income, and that applies to the joint sponsor also. Okay, if you have a joint sponsor, make sure your joint sponsor files an 864 if they don't live with you, and an 864A if they do live with you, like grandma's your sponsor. Make sure you fill out the paperwork correctly. If you get an RFE, return the paperwork exactly how immigration says, because if you do not, if you mess up, immigration is not going to have time to send you a second RFE when it comes to income. They're going to send you a letter of denial. I'm sorry, your green card's being denied because you don't know how to freaking fill out paperwork properly. Okay? If that happens to you, remember, if that happens to you, that letter's going to say your green card's been denied. Your work permit's been canceled. Everything's can't. You got to leave the United States. Blah blah blah. But that letter's going to say in small print, this notice of denial is without prejudice. So what does that mean? Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I'm not an attorney by any means. Okay, I'm not giving you legal advice here. Okay, but without prejudice means that you can apply again. It means you screwed up, you couldn't pay attention the second time, but we're going to deny this application. But if you apply again, we'll give you a second chance. But you got to pay the visa fee again, the green card fee, $1,440. So my recommendation is this: if you get a letter of denial because you submitted the RFE incorrectly, reapply for your green card. Repay the visa fee, the green card fee, repay the green card fee. Do everything over and don't mess it up this time. Because in that little small print, on that letter of denial, it says without prejudice. And without prejudice means that this process hasn't been blocked. It means you can try again, but you got to start from the beginning. You got to repay, you got to write another check to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. You got to redo the 485, the 864, get the 693 redone, get all your marriage certificate, your divorce decrees, your photos, and write a letter of explanation. Say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I'm reapplying for my green card with all the documentation in order now. And then you hope and pray that immigration gives you a break and issues you the green card. Do you hear what I'm saying? Francois Livingston, Bud Garcia, is that really you? I think it's an alien. I think Bud came in, he's an alien, extraterrestrial. Hope all is well. You haven't been in a real long time. Now he got caught into an Einstein time vortex. He was sucked from this universe to another universe. Now he's back in this universe. Yes, it is Bud Francois. I'm back. And Francois says, welcome back. And Bud says, thank you very much. Now, Francois Livingston, this is why it's wise and very beneficial to be a member of this channel to get your help. Mountain Dew salute. I did. So Francois became a member of this channel. And USCIS said all is great and they don't need anything from us. Thanks to you, Diego, for reviewing things. Francois, Mountain Dew salute. I reviewed your entire green card application about 3 times. Because number one, I want to see I want to see Hammond get his green card. Number one, I don't want to see him, have to get into an immigration problem. So I went over it 3 times and reviewed everything carefully for you. And we tweaked it here, we tweaked it there, we made some adjustments here, adjustments there. And as a member of this channel, you could call me and you could text me and you can email me. And you email me all the information. You emailed it and I went over it like a fine-tooth comb, like an immigration officer would go over it. And we fixed a few tweaks here and a few tweaks there. And then you submitted it. Once I said to submit it, you submitted your green card application and you came back perfectly fine. No problems, no RFEs, no errors, no issues. Boom, biometrics, letter, everything. But the only reason that you were able to contact me is because you signed up as a member. Now, I don't like to have to charge anybody for anything to get a freaking green card. I really don't. But in order for me to know who's got my phone number and email address, YouTube said set up a membership section. Then that way you're going to know who's got that information. All right. I can't put my email address and phone number out here publicly. There's a lot of good people in the world, but there's some bad people too. And they would love to go in here and try to hack this channel, right? So when you look at the channel, you can't find my contact information anywhere. Some YouTubers, they have their phone number, they got their email address out there, and then you get these nefarious characters sending emails to their channel. Hey, I'll pay you $5,000 if you advertise my product on your channel, Diego. But the advertisers can't contact me because I don't publicize that information. So what happens? There was one gentleman in the Philippines he had a YouTube channel. He passed away now. He's in heaven, but he passed away. But I was a friend of his. Okay, he was a friend of mine. We never met each other face to face, but we talked to each other through live streams, etc., and on the phone. I was in Colombia. I gave him a tour of my apartment in Bogota, Colombia, with Karina, and he had put his email address out there publicly. Well, then he got an email from somebody that offered him some money if they could advertise on his channel. He said, okay. So he clicked on the link, and the next thing he knew, his whole channel had been hijacked by this nefarious person. So he had to contact YouTube to try to save his channel and he had like, what? I don't know, 20,000 subscribers. You got to be careful with your phone number and email address publicly. So I created the membership, not because I want your money, but because it's the only way I can protect the information. It's $9.99 a month, and I think it's worth it, unless you want to call an immigration attorney up and pay him or her $400, $500 for a 5-minute phone call. So Francois, you're right. It's wise and beneficial to be a member of this channel if you want personalized help. No RFE for Francois. Amen. And Francois, say a big hello to Karina. Yeah, I will do that. Karina's out with she had to go out with her friends from work. She works very hard, and they said, hey, let's go eat dinner for a belated Mother's Day. And she said, okay. So she's with her friends from Puerto Rico, Indonesia, the United States. Hopefully she got American friends too. Joel Adams, my wife's green card is still pending. Social Security mistakenly recorded me dead. What? I went to the Social Security office to fix the error. Should we inform USCIS about the error? No, it's between you and Social Security, not between you. Immigration knows you're not dead, Joel. You're good. You don't have to contact USCIS because the Social Security office made a boo-boo. What you got to do is you got to go to the Social Security Administration and fix that. It only takes a second. They can go on their computer and fix it, and then everything's back in sync. Okay? Okay, then you're good to go. So we're going to put mega pixie dust all over your Social Security number and a Mountain Dew salute because you're paying attention to class. Social Security, the IRS still has you dead. Well, then you don't have to pay taxes anymore, right? You can tell your boss, hey, I'm dead. Please don't take any taxes out of my paycheck anymore. They'll quit taxing me because I'm dead. You need to call the IRS and fix that, Joel. Contact the IRS, and I recommend that you do that sooner rather than later. Cornell Rivers. Hello, Cornell. Hello, Cornell from Columbia, South Carolina. Now, I've been to Columbia, South Carolina. It's a beautiful part of South Carolina. Big city. So isn't that the state capitals right there in Columbia? Cornell, welcome. Now, Cornell's a member of the channel. Joe Adams, I did. They said it takes about a month to fix. So it's going to take the IRS a month to fix their records to say that you're not dead. But if you owed them 50 cents, they would snatch it out of your paycheck next week, out of your next payday, right? How insane is that? We got to fix the IRS. In fact, it would be a good idea if we didn't have to pay taxes anymore to anybody. I mean, I don't know. These tariffs on these countries seem pretty good to fund the government. Let's fund the United States on tariffs instead of income tax. John Labatt, just for information to everyone, What happens if a person does not get married or the petitioner changes their mind? Can they get another sponsor or get deported? Okay, John Labatt, let's go over this carefully. Uh, so if a foreign national comes to the United States and doesn't marry the U.S. citizen within 90 days, the foreign national must return back to his or her home country. If the foreign national comes to the United States and doesn't marry the U.S. citizen within 90 days and does not return to his or her home country, there will be a letter of removal proceedings sent to your address where you live, Mr. Sponsor, Ms. Sponsor, saying that this person is now under ICE removal and will go in front of an immigration judge so you can explain to the immigration judge why you didn't get married within 90 days, and boom. But if you don't get married within 90 days, you get deported. If the petitioner changes their mind, let's suppose you bring somebody to the United States. Let's suppose a U.S. citizen sponsor brings somebody to the United States from Australia, and then they've been together in the house for 60 days. You got 30 days left before you got to get married, and you decide this isn't working out. You both agree to agree. So the lady or the gentleman from Australia needs to get on a plane and return back to Australia or Colombia or Ecuador or wherever the heck it is the person came from. If you don't get married within 90 days, you'll get deported. If you come to the United States on a 90-day visa, I-94 actually is what it is, you got to marry the person that petitioned you. You can't come to the United States on a K-1 visa and then marry somebody else. Let's suppose you got a U.S. citizen sponsor who doesn't qualify for the K-1 visa because he's got a felony record or something bad in his record. So somebody else applies for the beneficiary. He or she comes to America and says, "Oh, I don't want to marry this guy. I'm going to marry this guy." Can't do that. You're going to get deported. So can they get another sponsor? You have two chances at a K-1 visa. Okay? You got two opportunities on a K-1 visa. You bring somebody over from a foreign country on a K-1, you get married, doesn't work out, you divorce, or the person decides they don't want to get married and they go back to their home country. You have a second opportunity for a second K-1. But you got to wait 2 years before you can apply. Okay, so let's suppose you met somebody, you bring them to the United States, you get married. Okay, you're married for 2 months, and it does not working out for you. And then the foreign national goes back to her home country. You get a divorce, and she goes back to her home country. And then a year later, you decide, you made up, you stupid mistake, you wish you'd never divorced each other, and you want to bring her back to America. You can do that, but you got to wait 2 years from the issue date of the first K-1. Okay? So you get two chances at a K-1 visa. If you bring more than 2 people to the United States on a K-1, unless that person died, the beneficiary, or went back to her home country, you have to get a waiver from USCIS if you want to marry a third person. You get 2 chances. So did that answer your question, John Labatt? Joe Adams, they're still collecting taxes from my paycheck, but they have me listed as dead. It's crazy. The IRS needs to go away, and I like what Trump says, create instead of the Internal Revenue Service, eliminate that and create the External Revenue Service, where we fund our country, the United States of America, a constitutional republic, on tariffs instead of income taxes. If the U.S. government stopped collecting income taxes, it wouldn't put a big dent into our economy or into our deficit. It really wouldn't. The amount of money that the U.S. government collects, only about 40% of people pay taxes. 40 to 50% of people pay income taxes. The other 60 to 50% don't pay anything. So there's about 40 to 50% of us who are paying income taxes. So if the IRS was to stop collecting income taxes, it wouldn't harm our economy. or our government, because the country receives lots of money from corporations, corporate tax, and there's other revenue streams that come into the treasury. Now we got tariffs coming into the U.S. Treasury from all these different countries. It's only 10%, except I don't know about communist China, but it's only like 10%. And you got all these fake news reporters on CBS and NBC, the communists on CBS News saying, well, we got to block these tariffs. And then then the international court came in and said that Trump hasn't got the authority to collect tariffs from foreign countries, which he does under Article 2 of the Constitution. Why would these judges try to stop the United States from collecting tariffs on countries that collect tariffs from us? The Japanese impose tariffs on our imports. The communist Chinese impose tariffs on our imports. All these countries around the world impose tariffs on the United States. So what Trump did was he equalized it. He said, okay, India, if you're going to put a tariff on stuff entering India from the United States, I'm going to put a tariff on your stuff coming into India. So he balanced the equation. And then all these communist judges in the United States tried to stop that. Do you see how insane that is? Don't you see how elections have consequences? Okay, President Trump has every right under his executive authority to impose tariffs on foreign countries. He can deport people. He has authority to deport people. Okay, folks, when you come to this country as a foreign national, you got to learn how our Constitution works. You got to learn how the government works. You got to know the history of our country. And your big goal, your focus in life, besides being happily married to your American citizen sponsor, is to assimilate and become an American. That's what your goal should be. Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, she said, I don't want these flags, Venezuelan flags, and I don't want to see the bull caps from Colombia and Venezuela. I want to wear an American bull cap. I want to wear an American shirt. So that's what she does. Karina's looking in the store. She buys a T-shirt that says USA on it. So I said, okay. I took the hats away, that from Colombia, which she bought me, and she's focusing now on becoming a U.S. citizen. That's what you should be doing, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary. If you don't know how to speak English, that's okay. Learn English. But be prepared to become a citizen of this country. And then you don't have to worry about filling out immigration paperwork. See, when you lift the conditions off of a 2-year green card, you got to file Form I-791. When you get a 10-year green card, 6 months before it expires, you need to renew it. Then you got to file Form I-90. It's like a never-ending freaking paperwork headache, right? So if you're on this channel, my advice to you is learn how to do the process. I'll teach you. I'll get you through it. I'll put you over the finish line. I'll get your green card for you. I'll get your K-1 visa approved, as long as you're qualifying for it. But my ultimate goal for you is for you to become a citizen, an American citizen. Now, there's some folks from the Philippines they're like, well, if I become an American citizen, I can't own land in the Philippines. Okay, give the land to your mom. Give it to your dad. Become an American. Now, I'm serious. Karina has a big house on the mountains in Caracas, Venezuela. Beautiful house up in the mountains. She owns it outright. Okay. Now, when she becomes a U.S. citizen, there's no way she's going to be able to travel to Venezuela with that communist dictatorship running Venezuela. Maduro's a freaking there's like a bounty on his head. The United States put a bounty on his head because he's a freaking narco trafficker. Tren de Agua is ran by Maduro. He runs that. He's a dictator, communist. Karina cannot return to Venezuela with a communist dictatorship running her country. Well, it's not her country now. America's her country. Okay? So she gave her house to her mom. She said, here's the key, Mom. It's your house. Now, Karina's name is still on the water bill and the electric bill and all that jazz in Venezuela. And in order for her to take her name off the water bill and electric bill, she has to be in Venezuela to sign it over. But she's not going to do that. So, It is what it is, right? And let me see. Joe Adams, they keep collecting taxes from you. It's crazy. John Labatt, thanks. I heard some people get here and have problems and don't know what to do. Well, here's the thing. Okay, if you're a foreign national, you come to this country, I don't care what the country is, United Arab Emirates, France, Belgium, Holland, Australia. If you don't get along with your U.S. citizen sponsor, if it's not working, you're living together 60 days, you got 90 days to make the decision on whether to get married or not. If it's not working, don't get married and get yourself into a legal tangle. Just go back to your home country, okay? The U.S. citizen sponsor can find somebody else if he wants to, or she can find another foreign national in another country, but he has to wait 2 years before he can apply another K-1. If the foreign national from whatever country wants to meet another American, the foreign national can do that. You get a second chance, but you got to wait 2 years before you can, let's suppose you meet another American, okay? And you want to marry somebody else, you can do that. But you got to wait 2 years before you can reapply for the American citizen sponsor to reapply. All right? So that's just the way it is, guys. All right, I've been talking for over an hour. I want to see you guys get your K-1 visas. I want to see you get your green cards. I'm going to help you. I'm going to pull you over the finish line. This is the Positivity channel, okay? You're not going to fail as long as you qualify and as long as you file the correct paperwork on the correct edition and you don't mess up filling out the check. Don't pay for your green card or your K-1 visa using a credit card. Use a personal check or a cashier's check made out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Don't use your credit card. The bank's not going to recognize the charge 9 times out of 10. You can do this. If you want my phone number, if you want my email address, if you want to text me at 10 o'clock at night with questions, I got no problem with that. Let's suppose your beneficiary in the Philippines, who's on a different time zone than you are in America, has an urgent immigration question. And your beneficiary texts you at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's urgent. You can text me at 2 o'clock in the morning if you are a member of this channel, if it's an emergent situation that you need me to fix. Okay? But if it's just a routine question, don't text me at 2 o'clock in the morning. If it's a routine, just during the day, up to the nighttime. But you got to be a member of the channel to get my phone number and to get my email address. Joe Adams, did you have to provide the marriage certificate to the IRS on first time filing marriage joint tax return? No, we didn't. We filed our joint tax return. Karina has her social security number. I have my social security number. We filed the joint tax return. The IRS were very happy when I filled out a check to them, to the U.S. Treasury Department. They love getting Diego's money. Now they're getting Diego and Karina's money. There's no reason to file a copy of the marriage certificate because Karina's social security number is on the tax return. If the IRS has a question about her, they can go into the Homeland Security website, because they're all joined together somewhere, and look her up. And they can see that we're married. Okay, guys, it's Saturday. Karina's out with her friends tonight, having dinner. Her friend is going to bring her back from Puerto Rico. And we'll be back for the next live stream. What's today? Saturday. So Monday's the next live stream. And tomorrow, today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday. I don't know if I'll make a video tomorrow, if tomorrow's Sunday, because I think Karina's going to be with me tomorrow. We're going to do something tomorrow. I said I'd make a video about the green card interview. If I don't make it tomorrow, maybe I'll make it with Karina, but definitely I'll have it published by Monday. All right? We'll see you guys then. And thanks for watching, by the way. We appreciate it. Good night, Francois.